Hi guys, welcome to the Sphons CCW Live Show, brought to you by, of course, Sphons CCW, This and That Distribution, and the Minerva Sportsmans Club. So we didn't have a show last week because most of us were in South Carolina and had a fun trip down there and back. Some interesting stuff happened. So what do we got tonight? Upcoming classes. Looks like 18th of January, CCW class coming up. The one in December is full, so that's good news. Got more applicants, more people enjoying their Second Amendment rights. All winter classes. I don't know if anybody knew, but we did build an indoor range, and we're going to be on the indoor range, out of the weather, out of the snow, out of the rain. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that ought to make things a lot easier and a lot less stressful anyway. So
19th of January, fundamentals. Pistol fundamentals, pretty good program. I got a web page here that I can bring up and show you guys what we're talking about. And we'll get our mugs out of the way here a little bit. So for fundamentals, what you're going to need. Cost is $65 a person. Your equipment, obviously a handgun, center fire, 3-5 magazines or speed loaders. We can do two. Two will work. That's really what's required. Two will work. Holster, quality Kydex or leather. The fabric holsters don't really stay open well enough to reholster, and we are going to be working on that skill. So,
on outside the waistband, right?
Well, we've been allowing inside the waistband. We just make sure that they're safe to handle before we draw and reholster loaded firearms. No cross draw or shoulder holsters, and this is due to the fact that the muzzle points at other participants when it's holstered, and we're still working on skills. So 3,500 rounds of ammo, eye protection, ear protection, a belt, magazine carrier. This time of year, you're probably not going to need sunscreen, lunch, snacks, and drinks. What we're going to cover is pistol marksmanship, using sight alignment and sight picture to your advantage, proper trigger control, draw technique, reholster technique, target acquisition, assessing and engaging multiple targets, tactical and emergency reloads, and then several shooting positions, strong and weak sides. So if you're interested in something like that, the 19th of January, $65, head on over to our website, sponsccw.com, and you can get signed up.
Yeah, limited spots for that one just because it's so intense.
And indoor. So
and indoor.
We range is only so big. So February 8th, we got another concealed carry class going on, and then February 22nd and 23rd, we have defensive pistol, which is fundamentals plus a lot. Barrier work, cover work, drawing from multiple different positions, and
move and shoot.
Move
while shooting.
Yep. There's a ton of that, and probably next show I'll pull that one up so everybody gets an idea of what that course encompasses. Shooting events. It's wintertime, so it's kind of shy on shooting events that we know about. We do have one coming up the 12th of January, a Lucky X shoot at the Minerva Sportsmans Club, so we hope to have a good turnout there. It's after Christmas, after the holidays, so hopefully we'll get a good turnout for that. So what else we got here? You got a training tip, right?
Yeah, I actually do have a training tip. It's actually something that kind of relates to the fundamentals class, always having an extra magazine and practicing reload drills. There's a lot of people who don't practice reload drills, and when it comes time to reload, they're stuck with an empty magazine in their hand. They don't know what to do with it, and an empty gun.
Yeah.
So, which does you no good when it's time to fight like you train.
Right.
And so that's really, you can still do all of this dry fire, you know, or, you know, dry fire or with a dummy round. Practice your reload drills and getting rid of that magazine. I saw one training tip the other day on YouTube that was saying that you should always reholster your magazine, your empty magazine, before you reload the gun. It's like, I kind of disagree with that. I just want to get that gun reloaded, and to hell with that empty magazine that's going on the ground. I'll pick it up later. But the one thing you might run into, you know, even with a double stack or a single stack, either one, is main reason is for malfunction. If you have a malfunction with your gun and you're in the middle of a gunfight, or even at the range, if you don't know how to reload it and get it back in action, then quickly, then you're in, serious trouble sometimes. Or, if you're in a competition someplace, trying to do that and just learning how to do that, you're losing time right there. So this is especially, critical in a single stack gun, where your magazine capacity is limited to maybe
Sure.
10 rounds anyway.
Or a revolver.
Or a revolver, and there are a lot of holsters available with an attached magazine carrier on them. You can go with a detached magazine carrier on your belt or in your pants or whatever. I got one here I'm going to show you in a little bit that just got a utility clip on it that will work on most pants without a belt. So there's some options there, but it's up to you to train reloading your gun, so you can always have it ready and able to operate. So
Absolutely. I think everybody, well, we go back to training with your gear that you're going to use. Don't get the old big out of the waistband stuff out and go train with that. And then when it comes time to actually use what you're carrying, not be proficient with it.
right.
The other thing is, testing your gear out and making sure it's reliable. I mean, we've seen a lot of magazines that are broken, mag carriers that don't fit the magazine,
Yeah.
Velcro flaps that are hard to get out of the way to get the magazine out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different things that are going to pop up, and then personal preference on top of that too. So yeah, reload drills is but the other thing is with your reload drills, dumping it in a malfunction situation, getting rid of that magazine and getting a fresh one in it is absolutely one of the fastest ways to get it back up and running again. We call that the magazine well, that big garbage hole or trash hole that comes out the bottom, so you can drop rounds out of the bottom of that. And it seems to be a lot easier for a lot more folks to ditch the offending magazine and start with a fresh one. But the thing is, they have to carry an extra magazine.
Carry a magazine to be able to do that. You know? And it's just it just boils down to the fact that if you're going to carry a gun, you never want to have an empty gun in your hand.
Yeah, right.
So
always make sure it's ready to go, and ready to.
And the other stupid one I saw today that doesn't really apply to this, but there was a picture that I saw someplace on open carry, a guy sitting on a stool in a restaurant, and there was a lot of people. I'm going to saying he was an idiot for open carrying. That's because somebody going to take his gun, and like, okay, You know, obviously you've never trained for the fact that to keep your gun in your holster either. So, but anyway.
Well, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I'm working on trying to run 2 computers here, so replying to comments from Dean and Bob, and thanks for joining us, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the content. If you can share, then please share. That's what I'm working on doing this here. What else do we have? I had something for a carry tip here, and it's really probably the most overused, stigmatized statement that we have in the carry world, and it's situational awareness. The thing about situational awareness is I see way too many people. They walk into a room, they survey the room, and then they're done with that. They never go back and look. The thing about situational awareness is it's fluid, it's dynamic, it changes constantly.
Yeah, it's not part-time.
No, it's not part-time. It's not something that you relieve yourself of at any point in time. Like, you have to be aware. And I don't know whether it's just the society that we live in or what's going on, but you can see it in drivers, you can see it in malls, you can see it pretty much anywhere, and they're not looking around. There's too much looking at cell phones. There's too much looking at social media. For Pete's sake, I got TVs on the gas pumps right now. So
yeah, exactly.
Keeping aware about that kind of stuff is, it's essential. I mean, avoidance is the key to that kind of stuff. I mean,
even the guy that started Gunsight Academy out in Arizona or Nevada or wherever it is, one of his favorite sayings was, never let yourself be constantly in condition white.
Yes, condition white, something we talk about in defensive pistol a bunch.
Yeah. So,
yeah, you need to be looking around. You need to be noticing people out there that may cause you an issue. So it's one of them things where it's fluid, it's dynamic, it's constantly changing. If you're in a restaurant, you need to be looking around. You need to be seeing what everybody's doing, and that getting that down is gonna keep you in a better position no matter what you're doing, whether you're driving or working on a construction site or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and even if you're out with the family or something, and you have a bunch of people in a restaurant or something that doesn't allow your firearms in there, if you're in at least aware of that and in condition yellow, maybe if you don't have any way to defend yourself, you notice the exit out that's quickly available, so you can get everybody out before the shit hits the fan.
Yeah,
So,
right. I mean, that's the thing. Where's the exits at? Where's the windows at?
right.
What chairs can I throw? All kinds of stuff like that. I mean, there's just an absolute ton of things that you could be doing to make your life much, much easier.
Yeah, you absolutely have the right to defend yourself, including leaving the scene.
Yeah.
So
leaving the scene is a perfectly acceptable form of defense for pretty much everybody. You get into FBI statistics, you're something like 5 times more likely to get into a violent confrontation, which doesn't include deadly force, than you are in a deadly force situation. So just keep that in mind. So I guess we hashed that one out. We got our training tip in. We got some news for you guys. It's kind of light on the local news, I
Local
guess,
news, yeah.
which is good, really. I mean, we put this news out there so that everybody can learn from it, but it is kind of light on the local news. And as always, if you see a news article, you see a video, you want us to get it on the show, look at it, send it to us. Sphons CCW at Gmail. Give us a call, text, Facebook Messenger, something like that. Get us some kind of information on what you want to see in this particular video, and
Yeah,
we'll
where
get
you
it out
found
there.
it, whether it was on YouTube or local news or wherever.
Absolutely. So we get the news up here. Going to get our mugs out of the way for you. Just so everybody knows, in the descriptions you can find what news articles that we have and where I got them. So this one we got from Cleveland.com. Big shout out to them for putting this up. Akron, Cleveland, and other cities sue Ohio over gun laws set to go into effect this month. Now, what they're upset about is HB 228. If anybody is familiar with HB 228, what it did was allowed citizens to collect damages from a city or government agency in the state of Ohio that restricted their right to carry a firearm, or the city had restricted the use, sale, manufacture of firearms and their components. The actual law citation for that is what they call ORC 9.68. Essentially, it's a preemption law that says the state legislature is the only one that can make gun laws in the state of Ohio. What these cities are upset about is they're saying that it will not allow them to pass local ordinances and regulations regarding the possession, sale, and manufacture of firearms and ammunition, which is absolutely why ORC 9.68 has been put into effect and why it was put into effect.
Right, it's a preemption law.
Yes. So here's the real deal. Before the preemption law, every township, county, municipality, whatever it might be, city, park,
yeah,
school board, whatever, had the ability to pass any gun law that they wanted to pass.
Right.
And you had this patchwork of stuff that people were trying to
like
abide
it is in California.
By. Yeah. So the state legislature said, you know what, we've had enough of this. We're going to have one standard set of laws throughout the state of Ohio, which is a good thing. You got to learn one law, and there's nobody that can, put a gotcha in there somewhere. So what's going on is HB 228 allowed private citizens to collect monetary damages from cities, municipalities who violated the state's preemption law. In the past, if they violated it, then you could take them to court, but it was a long, lengthy uphill battle to get any damages out of the city and correct their illegal actions. And now the legislature has had enough of these cities restricting or encroaching on ORC 9.68, and we got a bill passed that said if you encroach on that preemption law and pass stupid gun laws, then we're going to take a bunch of money off of you. And local municipalities do not like it when you take a bunch of money off of them for something that they don't like.
They shouldn't do it anyway.
Well, yeah, it's just it's wasting taxpayer funds,
right.
And that's what it is. So HB 228 is going to go effect here very shortly, and
a couple days.
Yep. So if you want to read the entire article, it's very short. I don't really like to talk about this kind of stuff. You can head over to cleveland.com and check it out. Next up in the news, we got a man shot in the face during an attempted home invasion in Greene. We got this from news5cleveland.com. And head on over to their website and check out the article. In Greene, Ohio, deputies are investigating a shooting that left 2 injured in an apartment complex in Greene Friday, according to the Summit County Sheriff's Office. Now, I do believe, because I've been gone for a week, yes, this happened November 30th. So 2 individuals entered an apartment armed and attempted to assault the residents, according to deputies. One of the residents then exchanged gunfire with the 2 intruders. An 18-year-old man who was one of the intruders was shot in the face. The 20-year-old woman, who was a resident of the apartment, was shot in the hip. Both the 18-year-old man and the 20-year-old woman were transported to Akron City Hospital and are expected to survive their injuries. The second suspect fled the scene and has not been located. Deputies said the resident who shot the 18-year-old suspect, 20-year-old Darian Crisp, was arrested and charged with trafficking in drugs and possession of drugs. The incident is under investigation. So big surprise here.
Drug deal gone bad again.
Drug deal gone bad again. We like to see upstanding citizens defend themselves against derelicts, but the simple fact is this was just a fight in progress. This seems more like mutual combat. Somebody was trying to steal drugs or steal money, or somebody encroached on somebody's territory or something like that, and you had a gunfight erupt. So hopefully all of them.
Just a month ago, the guy was right there in Greene in that plaza swinging a machete around, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was.
That's good to be a fine place right there.
Yeah, well, hopefully they can get it cleaned up. Cause,
I hope so.
Hopefully these guys get long, lengthy jail sentences. So, next thing we got up here is Youngstown, Ohio. Police said 3 men found dead late Thursday in a Southside Youngstown home. We got this article from WKBN.com. So if you want to check out the article, follow the link in this description. Chief of Detectives Captain Brad Blackburn said Friday the relative of one of the men had been in contact with him at least an hour before they were found by police. Police were called to the house about 11:15 p.m. after a person who was there said they could see one of the victims lying on the floor. Police entered the house, found a man and 2 other men scattered throughout the floor. Unfortunately for Youngstown, the killings gave the city 4 homicides in less than 36 hours and 20 for the year, which is pretty nasty.
Even for a city that size.
Right? Looks like they maybe were looking for something, said Blackburn. Blackburn said detectives are not sure if there was more than one suspect inside the house, but he did say police found evidence that 2 different weapons were used. It appears that some things had moved in the house, but detectives are not sure if anything is missing. Blackburn said police have tentative identities for the men, but are waiting for the Mahoning County Coroner's Office to confirm them before releasing. The same 3-man team of detectives who are investigating the Wednesday shooting death of Levant Perry, 20, who was found in a Woodcrest Avenue home, are also investigating the triple homicide. Because the team has been working almost nonstop, Blackburn said if there's another major crime that requires detectives, he said another team may be called out to give those detectives not only a rest, but a chance to work their case. 2 homicides are the first time the department has tried a new idea with using 3 detectives and a supervisor instead of 2 detectives, Blackburn said. Another reason for the relief is because working a case with multiple victims, there are multiple family members and witnesses to interview, which can be very time-consuming, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think
It sounds like the city of Youngstown police are working a ton of overtime. So hopefully they will get that kind of crap sorted out. This goes back to this smells like another drug deal. Smells like drug violence and looks like drug violence. We don't know if it's drug violence yet, but I'd put a few bucks on it that it was probably drug violence.
Yeah.
Seems like the overall trend lately. All right, from Cleveland19.com, we had a 65-year-old woman tries to fight off a robber, but the suspect gets away with her purse. The police are seeking to identify a male suspect accused of robbing a 65-year-old woman on Cleveland's west side. According to investigators, the victim cashed a check for nearly $800 and purchased a money order for $340. She then put both into her purse. Sounds like Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
As she was leaving the American Food Mart on Detroit Avenue on the morning of November 29th, a suspect approached and snatched her bag. Police said the woman tried to fight off the robber, but was eventually able to run away. The suspect was wearing a gray cap, black hooded sweatshirt, tan pants, and tan boots at the time of the robbery. Anyone with information about the suspect's identity is asked to contact detectives with the Cleveland Division of Police, 2nd District, 216-623-5217. So hopefully they catch this dude. It sounds like this woman was out Christmas shopping and got some cash out of the bank and got robbed. I mean, but this goes right back to situational awareness. This vast majority of the time there is indicators, solid indicators. There is indicators there's somebody watching you, and we do not want to victim blame this person here, but what we want to do is learn from her misfortune and not have it happen to us. So now we got the best article of the night. This is from KMOV.com out of Missouri. A man uses underwear as a disguise during an armed robbery of Moberly gas station. There's a video here that I'm not going to play. It looks like a pair of Hanes and a shotgun was involved in this particular robbery.
I wonder if he washed them first.
I know, right? Well, maybe that's why he was in a bad mood, because it didn't smell real nice. Police arrested a man who allegedly robbed the gas station while wearing underwear on his head to disguise himself. Well, mister, you didn't do a very good job of that. Yeah, I don't know where to go with this, but Moberly police said the man robbed Bratcher's Fuel on South Morley Street Saturday evening. He had a gun and left in what police believe is a mid-2000 Chevrolet Impala. Police arrested him Monday afternoon. They're not releasing his name, and he hasn't been charged yet. I wonder if he's still wearing the underwear when they arrested him. I mean, is this a crime of passion here? Did he, just grabbed a shotgun and head down to the local convenience store, and he forgot his mask, so he took his drawers off and put them over his head? Or
takes all. I wonder how many pair of gloves the cops put on to, get those for evidence.
Oh, I would have put rubber gloves and leather gloves and welded gloves, and it just goes to show you criminals aren't all that bright.
No.
All right, so as you know, we got this from BearingArms.com. Head on over to their site. We had a shooting at a Navy base last week. Probably everybody's all well aware of that. The question remains on how the Saudi flight student ended up with a firearm to begin with. Generally, foreigners are not allowed to buy guns in the United States, but there are exceptions written into federal law. You got to be a permanent resident, have a green card, and have photo ID. This guy does not fit any of those.
I don't understand how they let him buy a handgun anyway.
Well, I mean, we got preliminary reports that say he obtained a state hunting license, and that he used that for proof of residency. That really is, this law professor at the University of California School of Law says, every day we find a new loophole. That is not a loophole. That is illegal sale.
Yeah.
That he cannot use that as his form of identification. If he has got a Saudi driver's license or an out-of-state driver's license or any type of other ID card, you're going to need a photo ID to buy a firearm. And I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think the state of Florida, like most other states, is there any photo on your hunting license?
I would doubt it. They've probably
And
gone the way of everybody else, just printing a piece of paper on your computer.
I would imagine. And your home address has got to match your photo ID.
Right.
Otherwise, there is a lot more lengthy requirements to purchase a firearm if you do not have a photo ID. So there's no way this Saudi guy fit those. It's not happening. And then I guess he goes on, well, in fairness, how is someone supposed to hunt if they don't have a gun? Well, archery.
Yeah, they can bow hunt.
So the gunman was a hunter and took advantage of that loophole. Well, not really. Authorities have not disclosed precisely how 21-year-old Royal Saudi Air Force officer undergoing months of flight training in Florida military base obtained a Glock 9mm handgun he used to attack on Friday that ended with him being killed. But the FBI said it was purchased legally in Florida. I think the FBI is incorrect. I think this will come out that it was incorrect. In the aftermath of the rampage, which the FBI is treating as a terrorist attack, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis questioned whether foreigners should be allowed to buy guns. Well, they're not.
No.
Republican governor said he supported the Second Amendment, but does not apply to Saudi Arabians. Well, it doesn't. He's right. He goes on to say he wasn't a law enforcement officer, he was a pilot. In other words, they're decrying loopholes. We still don't even know how he got his firearm. Did he buy it from a lawful dealer with false identification? Did the dealer sell it to him illegally? If he got it from a dealer, the dealer sold it to him illegally. Did he buy it via face-to-face transfer until the other party was an American citizen? We simply don't know a whole lot because they're not releasing any information. So if you're an American citizen, do not sell a firearm to somebody who is not an American citizen. Do not sell a handgun to somebody who is not a resident of your state.
With a valid photo ID that matches everything.
Yeah. You can be held liable for selling a firearm across state lines. So be wary. Stuff like this does happen. And then the second one for the week, we had a shootout at a kosher market. I don't know if they have determined this to be a terrorist attack or a...
They actually arrested a man and a woman from that city for that attack, and they haven't released anything about that, saying whether it was a terrorist attack or whether they were just mad because
Just
it
a
was
hate
kosher
crime.
market, you know.
Yeah, we don't know. Well, generally, if it's a hate crime, they're going to deem it a terrorist attack. I mean, what's really the difference? But it says 3 civilians and a police officer were killed during a gun battle in Jersey City, New Jersey yesterday. The 2 shooters were ultimately shot and killed by police. So I wonder if the 2 shooters are part of this 3 civilians.
No.
No? No. So they got 3 civilians and a police officer. Initial reports, so often inaccurate in these situations, indicate that the police had interrupted a drug buy or were conducting a murder investigation. The police officer was murdered by the 2 attackers near a cemetery in circumstances that still aren't clear. So we got a lot of information that's got to come out on this yet. By the way, we got this article, Truth About Guns. So head on over to Truth About Guns to check this out. Link is in the description. According to the Jersey City's mayor, the 2 gunmen then drove a stolen U-Haul vehicle to a kosher market, got out, and opened fire in a clearly targeted attack. 2 dead shooters have been identified. 2 people who stormed a kosher grocery store in Jersey City with rifles, killing 3 people inside and also murdering a veteran detective, have been identified as David Anderson and Francine Graham. 4 law enforcement sources familiar with the case tell News 4. 3 sources say Anderson was a one-time follower of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, a group whose members believe they are descendants of the ancient Israelites and may adhere to both Christian and Judaic beliefs. There was a note with religious writings in the U-Haul, and Graham allegedly drove to the scene, but a motive, including any alleged nexus or hate or terror, remains under active investigation. So these articles get rather ridiculous in their speculation from time to time. But, we got to wait for the facts. The problem is a lot of times we don't get all of the facts. And hopefully we will get more facts on this particular case. But it does not appear that we're going to get a whole lot now. And this is just kind of a repetitive article that goes on to tell you more about that. And they're not saying it's an anti-Semitic attack yet, but who knows? Maybe they was just a gun deal or a drug deal gone wrong, and once again, innocent people got
in
the way. So that's kind of horrible. People out grocery shopping, and some numbnuts comes through and starts shooting at you. It's not something anybody wants to happen. But in today's world, the reality is it does happen. All right, so once again from Bearing Arms, this one kind of hit home with us here. So I'm going to talk about it. So a judge discovers gun safety groups don't offer gun safety classes. And I do believe what he's talking about here is what's that, Moms Demand Action and Every Town for Gun Sense. And there was another Ohio group that I forget the name that's kind of died off the radar lately. And what's that? There's a Michael Bloomberg Mayors Against Gun Violence. And
yeah, he's got a whole bunch of them.
The one thing that these groups do not offer is any type of education. So a Colorado judge, hoping to avoid approving a plea deal that required a defendant to attend an NRA certified gun safety program, has learned that for all the talk about gun safety from gun control advocates, it turns out they don't actually offer any gun safety classes.
No.
There's several organizations that do offer safety classes. There's 3 actually. One of them being very hard to find the safety classes, but the NRA and USCCA are the biggest 2. The NRA being the largest by far, over 10 times bigger. So if you want a firearm safety class, you're probably going to end up in an NRA certified program. So it just is what it is.
Right.
Those people don't actually care about any type of safety. They care about restriction of availability and restriction to access to firearms. That's their idea of safety.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So this case revolves around a shooting that led to the death of a Finnegan Daly, a college student who died after being shot with a handgun owned by his roommate. Coleman Carver pleaded guilty to a charge of tampering with evidence in exchange for a 2-year deferred sentence and a requirement that he attend a firearms safety course. Daly's family believes that Carver is the one who shot Daly, though Carver maintains Daly shot himself when the pair, who'd both been drinking, began messing around with Carver's guns. Now here's problem number 2, drinking and firearms.
Yeah.
Big no-no. Finnegan Daly's mom has become an avid supporter of gun control since her son's death, and was upset that the plea agreement offered to Carver included the requirement that he take an NRA certified gun safety course from the Colorado Sun, I guess is the rest of this article. Virginia Daly told the judge that any money given to the NRA surrounding the death of Finnegan is intolerable and abusive. Both the prosecutor and defense attorney said they could not find a similar class hosted by another organization near Carver's home in Cortez. Because they won't. It doesn't exist.
Right.
Judge Susan Blanco, overseeing the case, also had some difficulty accepting the fact that the NRA was going to be involved in any way with the required safety course. The other organizations don't have experience with firearms. How are they going
to teach gun safety?
Yeah, you can't do it. lack of access isn't gun safety.
Right.
It's ignorance. The
That's
judge
like going to taking your driver's test without a car.
Yeah, right. Bring your bicycle. We'll give you a
Yeah.
driver's license. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The judge appeared concerned about mandating an NRA course, pressing the prosecutors to find an alternative. Is there anywhere else he can complete a firearm safety course so he's not giving money to the NRA? Out of respect for the victim's family, Blanco asked. The judge told Carver she preferred that he attend a course not associated with the NRA. Why? I don't understand. They're the largest organization that provides training in the entire world.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's 3 training organizations: NRA, USCCA, and the Second Amendment Foundation. And the Second Amendment Foundation training programs are few and far between. In addition to the course on essay, Carver must complete $500 of community service, with the first $250 completed in the first year, complete a substance abuse evaluation and treatment, and abstain from using alcohol, marijuana, or other drugs not prescribed to him. If Carver does not complete the terms of the sentencing agreement, he could face 12 to 18 months in prison and a $100,000 fine. Prosecutors made it clear there really weren't any other options when it came to gun safety training. As it turns out, the gun safety movement idea of gun safety is don't own a gun. We've been saying this for years. They haven't actually invested any time or money coming up with a genuine gun safety training program. Prosecutors could have required Carver to attend an Every Time for Gun Safety certified training course, but as it turns out, they don't exist. They don't. So-called gun safety advocates love the idea of mandatory training requirements for gun owners, and the more onerous the better. But they don't seem to care much about ensuring that those classes are easy to find by offering the courses themselves. It's almost like they're pushing a training mandate as a barrier to gun ownership. They are. I'm not a fan of training mandates for gun ownership or even bearing arms, in part because of how those mandates can be abused, like we're seeing here. But I'm a big fan of training itself. We are too. In order to ensure the gun owners get the training, however, gun control advocates have to stop trying to shut down gun ranges or prevent them from opening up in the first place. You can't get training if you have nowhere to train. You'd think gun safety activists would be huge supporters of range access, but when your idea of gun safety is don't own a gun, access to a training facility is actually undesirable. Because it might encourage people to actually own firearms instead of working to ban them. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way to put that outside of there isn't another way to put it. You can't.
There isn't.
Yeah. I don't. So I looked at a couple websites last night, and even in this area, I couldn't find a USCCA class either. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They're all about shutting down the NRA, but they want training classes. Sorry. Not to mention the fact that they're not direct, even with the mandate that they got, they're not directly giving money to the NRA. It's the training company or individuals that do the training.
yeah,
So they're affiliated with the NRA and a member. You have to be, but really,
I know, right? I'm trying to reply to a comment here. Yeah, we really don't have, and even as instructors, there's not a whole lot of alternatives for us to do outside of that. A few private training organizations which don't really do you a lot of good.
no.
there are some different things out there that you can get certified in. There's some different organizations that got some good programs, but when it comes to these people's idea of qualifying for anything, there isn't. There isn't.
No. And, there's a lot of guys out there that are certified and say they're certified, but, as far as, being able to prove it, you almost have to go to NRA.
Yeah. It's tough if there's another training organization that you want to use.
Yeah.
It's hard to find their classes. I do know there was a couple guys doing USCCA in the area. And I'd actually thought about going and doing one of those instructor classes, but their course curriculum is extremely limited. I mean, it's a couple of handgun classes, and I don't know if they have ideas on, getting other classes out there, but when it comes to rifle or shotgun or I think they got one personal protection class, but outside of that, there's not, and nothing for the kids. I mean,
No, they don't. They don't have the resources.
No. The other thing is, as far as like scouts, 4-H, youth rifle programs, there isn't another organization willing to pick up that
And
that slack. So you can't, if you have a kid that you want to take to something like that, there isn't another area. I mean, there's some 4-H programs, but they have to be generally NRA certified.
Yes.
To
the instructors have to be NRA certified
to account for those.
Yeah.
So no matter what you feel about the NRA, you better hope that they don't go away, because in about half of the states you're going to lose your ability to obtain a carry license if there's a training mandate. Because I know there's
not
quite
to
a
mention
few
the
of them.
fact that there's a lot of law enforcement training that they only can get through NRA.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's NRA law enforcement training. There's a whole
Yeah.
other division in there.
Right. And if you don't have certified instructors, how are you going to teach?
Right.
So
it's a big mess. It would be nice if somebody would pick up the
some of it anyway.
Some of it. So I gotta. Yeah, Cody Tyler Wilson shall not be infringed. Our constitutional rights come before their evil agenda. Yeah, like I said, no matter what you feel about the NRA, you are not going to find another training organization as big as they are. I get why people get upset with the NRA and some of the stuff that they do. I try and stay out of the mess with them guys as far as the
political aspect.
Yeah, the political aspect. I try and stay in my training lane and go there, but I hope everybody understands that the training organization is an entirely separate organization from the ILA, which has caused a mess out in the political world. Not even the same friggin' building. So we've been bearing the brunt of that for a while. All right, what else we got here? Product of the week. We got to show off this holster.
We got this is a company called Flashbang. I'm sure everybody's heard of the different holsters that Flashbang makes, including the bra holsters and stuff. This is an inside the waistband holster, pretty minimalist style, but you don't actually need a belt to wear this. You can wear this without a belt. A lot of women like these because they can actually wear them with sweatpants and pajama pants or whatever you want to do, as long as they don't totally fall down from the weight of the gun. But they have this cool little utility clip on here that actually clamps down on the fabric. You can wear it with a belt.
Look at it.
The gun, but they have this cool.
I done screwed that up.
Let me start over.
No, you're good.
Keep going. Got this cool little utility clip. You can adjust the height, ride height on this. On the back here, it's got 2 screws. You can adjust the ride height. You can adjust the cant by moving this top screw around. And actually, good product. Kydex, adjustable for retention right here on this screw. It's got a Chicago screw that does that, and good product. We just got these in maybe a month or 2 ago, and they're pretty good sellers because it's an option to people who don't want to wear a belt. A lot of women have these. We also have the match to this, where we were talking about always having a magazine with you. This is the double stack version of that, also with the utility clip, and also has retention screws, Chicago screws in here. You can adjust the ride height on this also by moving the screws up and down. Slotted metal piece on the utility clip, and these are pretty good product. Seen several people wear them. The only problem we found in them is if you have a Shield Easy Smith & Wesson 380, then the single stack magazine, that little button on there to pull the magazine down will get caught in there when it's empty. And but that's the only thing we've seen that's even close to being an issue with these. So utility clips are very heavy duty, and they snap down tight. It takes a little bit of force to get them off, once they're on, because there is such a force on this utility clip. But good product.
These are really popular with women because of this clip. Now, these holsters are expensive. This is a $50 holster.
It's $50 holster, $36 for the mag carrier.
So they are high quality, and I do believe they're a lifetime warranty also.
Yes.
Like you said, the claim on this one is you don't need a belt. This clip will clip on the fabric. Now, what you are going to need is something that will hold the weight of the gun. So you're not going to go running around in sweatpants with a, pistol on. It's just not going to happen.
No, with a G19 or a 1911.
Yeah, there's no way. That's not going to work. But, there's a lot of different pants that this will attach to. The thing about this is if you ever put the gun in a purse or backpack, you can actually attach this to the fabric and the dividers in there. So that's a phenomenal option when it comes with this fabric clip that is on there. Either one of these.
One of these, really. And that's a good point. That
phenomenal product.
You don't have to change purses. If a woman has a purse that they really like, you don't necessarily have to change purses and buy another purse for concealed carry in a purse. So there's some options there that normally aren't available. So that's a good thing. We're always open to more options for keeping guns on people. So.
Yeah, right. So
good product.
Very good product. Flashbag, 100% American made. I mean, there's a couple ladies that started this company, and if you have a wholesale account, it takes a while to get stuff from them. They make a good product, and they stand behind their product. American made, good quality. I don't know. Can't say enough about them. Enjoy the holster.
Yeah, these are great.
It's good stuff. Really is good stuff. So new products. If you tuned in yesterday, you saw our Shield Easy 9mm. So go check that video out if you want to check out the Shield Easy 9mm. And actually, if you just scroll down in your feed a little bit on our page, it's going to show up right there. Haven't got a chance to shoot it yet, but we have one here. I think we're probably going to shoot the thing. Just got to get an opportunity to do that.
Just got it yesterday.
Everything that the 380 is, the 9mm is also. They did not disappoint in that.
No. And like we've been saying for a while, they're looking to own that 9mm carry gun market.
Yeah.
And if nobody,
it's not the
competes
smallest
against-
gun in
Oh, no.
the market, but
No.
right now, it's for us in this area, it's the most popular gun in the market
Yes,
right now.
absolutely is.
It just seems like everybody who comes in handles one.
They
End up with one. So
Right.
it is what it is. You can't bash a good thing.
Yeah, and they did their homework on the 9mm also. You know, we've been expecting it to come out, but it hadn't. And then all of a sudden, we got an email a couple days ago, and a new product. Smith & Wesson came out with this Shield 9mm EZ. It's like, okay, well, I was on the horn 15 minutes later calling the guy up.
Yeah,
Supplier saying, I want one of those. Bring
we
send
want
it.
one.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but
well, hopefully we can get more. That's always an
Yes.
issue with new guns is availability.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully I want more so I can shoot one, but
yes,
that's neither here nor there.
exactly.
The other thing we had go on this week is Glock. If you're a Glock fan, they released a 44 and 22 long rifle. I guess it's a G19 sized 22 long rifle training pistol. 10-round single stack magazine looks like to me some kind of hybrid polymer and aluminum slide to make it reliable.
Yeah.
Until I get my hands on one, the jury's out on what it's going to be like. I think Smith & Wesson set the bar pretty high with the 22 M&P 22 compact.
22 compact, yeah.
We've had a couple of those for a while, and they're really hard to beat. Taurus is running right up their hind end with the TX22.
TX22, yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't like the grip on the Taurus like I like the grip on the
M&P.
On the M&P.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't anchor in my hand like I want it to.
Yeah.
But if you're a Glock fan, maybe check out the 44. Haven't seen availability on them yet. Called on them, wasn't there yet. They just released that a couple days ago, so hopefully we will see one eventually. I don't know if I have one in store or not, but we'll see. It seemed kind of pricey for a 22, but Glock's quality is always there.
Yeah,
and
they're simple, easy, stupid.
Yeah.
They can, but
upgrade parts, sights, holsters, everything. Being G19 sized, I would imagine that
yeah.
everything's going to transfer over from your 9mm to your 22, and then you got a training pistol, low cost shooting, and then reacclimate with the 9mm for the recoil, and on you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
and don't forget, if you're into a Taurus G2C, they still have a $25 rebate on them till the end of the month, and see if it gets them down, about $2.25 for a G2C 12-round 9mm for a cheap gun to throw in your belt or throw in a holster and carry around.
yeah,
And so.
And they're reliable guns too. I mean, we've had
Yeah.
a G2C for
well,
actually ours is a PT 111
Yeah.
PT 111 Millennium Pro.
Yeah, G2.
It's got a name about this friggin' long.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It's a G2C really, but
Right.
it is what it is. I mean, it's cheap, but it's effective and it's reliable. And we've beat the crap out of ours, so can't say enough about those.
It works good.
It does work good.
So
anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up our show. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. In the comments, we got lots of good information there. We got a good audience going. Once again, brought to you by Sphons CCW, This and That Distribution, and the Minerva Sportsmans Club. If you got videos you want us to analyze, which is something that we skipped over, I think we're going to get one in next week. Had a lot of other stuff going on. You got videos you want us to analyze, then send them to us. You got a news article you want some opinions on, send it. Our opinions aren't always right. Opinions are like hind ends. Everybody's got one, but we'll talk about it.
That's okay.
As always, you share the video for us.
You subscribe to our YouTube page. That'd be
Yep.
great.
Everything's on
Like our
YouTube.
page on Facebook.
So that's what we got for you guys. Everybody, thanks for stopping in, and
See you next time.
see you next time.